forefront every time you want to make plans to go out to the lake. I know warmer temperatures mean you want to cool off a little bit in the water, but sometimes it's just not safe to do that. It's better to find somebody's backyard pool or community pool to go to instead of forcing yourself to be kind of dealing with that lake water. I mean, earlier today we had winds that were gusting over 30 miles per hour at times, especially along the lakeshore. Remember, when you're dealing with wind, you are physically moving all of that water every time the wind is blowing over the lake. So that is pushing a lot of mass in closer to the shoreline. And that's what gets you some of those more powerful waves. It's what gives you then the more powerful rip currents that'll basically take you then back out into the lake, a place you do not want to be. Thankfully tonight, and the reason we've seen a few of those beach hazard statements come down is we're seeing these wind speeds decrease as well. But keep this in mind over the next couple of days. Winds could still gust upwards of 20, maybe even up to 25 miles per hour as we work in a couple of different systems. Anytime you're changing that temperature drastically over a relatively short amount of time, which is what we did yesterday into today, that's what's going to create a lot more of those stronger winds. And our weather pattern still stays pretty active as we head into the early part of this next week, which likely means we're still going to be dealing with some decent waves out on the lake Sunday and into Monday. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday, things will start to change a little bit more for us. Winds will be out of the south, so it's not coming in off the lake. You likely won't have quite as much of an issue if you are planning on being out at the lake shore. But please just use caution, especially not only this weekend, but keep this in mind for the rest of the summer season. As for tonight, it is dry out there. It's going to give us a nice dry start as we look ahead towards your Saturday. There is a chance for some showers and storms Saturday night headed into early Sunday. And once we transition into Sunday afternoon, you'll notice it's a couple of degrees cooler than where we are going to be tomorrow, say. But overall, it is going to be a very pleasant weekend for us. Data continues to support that. Outside right now, temperatures low to mid 60s, couple upper 60s if you are closer to the lakeshore, but we are staying dry. You're going to see high pressure building in, giving us a lot of sunshine early tomorrow morning, more of that rain out to the west, and that's what's going to bring you your rain chance by the time we get into your Saturday. We'll walk you through all that new data coming up. So the wind will be around. We'll say it that way. It's going to be a little breezy both Saturday as well as Sunday, but we will get to see a lot more sunshine tomorrow. That is good news for you, especially if you have some of those plans that are outside. We're already starting to see those clouds clearing out and really transitioning just towards more so a light breeze as we head into the rest of this evening. Overnight lows are going to be back into the 50s for a lot of us, and then it is a dry start and a dry end to the weekend, but in between, we are going to be watching for a better opportunity for some showers, then potentially a couple rumbles of thunder as a cold front rolls through. As for tonight, this is where your temperatures are headed, right around the mid to upper 50s to low 60s. Again, winds are subsiding, still a little breezy at times tonight out of the northwest, by about 5 to 15 miles per hour. But once those winds lighten up and we really clear out some of those clouds, that's what's going to allow that temperature to drop a bit more efficiently by the time we wake up early tomorrow morning. By about 6 o'clock, this is what your temperatures are going to look like. So if you are an early riser, maybe you like to get some working out done first thing in the morning, this is what you're stepping outside to. Temperatures mid to upper 50s, lower 60s closer to the lakeshore. As we've said, those beach hazard statements are still in effect for Lorain as well as Erie counties headed into tomorrow afternoon, just because winds are a little bit gustier right now, and that can certainly push some of those stronger waves basically on shore as we go into the afternoon hours. But I mean, you look at tomorrow temperature wise, you really can't ask for too much better here, especially across northeast Ohio as we look ahead towards the first really kind of early part of the month of June. Temperatures by 9 a.m. will have warmed at this point back into the mid 60s. By lunchtime, we're into the mid 70s and then some upper 70s on the board later tomorrow afternoon. You'll notice typically we should be around 78 degrees, and that's what our forecast high is for tomorrow. Now, if you are headed downtown for the Monsters game, especially, and I said I was going to correct this and I still forgot to do that. It's tomorrow night. We are looking at a puck drop temperature if you're headed downtown about 75 degrees. You'll notice a bit more of those clouds around the area. And one thing we'll watch as you're exiting the game tomorrow is the potential that we could have just a couple of showers closer to the lakeshore. You'll notice that 10 p.m. window. We're going to start to reintroduce at least the mention of some showers in some parts of our area. Better rain chance widespread overnight tomorrow night, headed into the early hours of your Sunday, and that's where you could get an isolated rumble of thunder in the mix as well. Don't anticipate this to be a severe weather setup by any means. In fact, all this strong to severe weather you see out to the west, that's going to dive just down to our south and to our west. What we're watching is a little bit farther to the north, where it is mostly just some rain that's going to be working its way through. Here's your future view. This is 8 p.m. Saturday evening, so again, everybody's staying quiet, but you can certainly tell there's a bit more cloud cover here across the area. But as we get closer to midnight, northern counties, that's where we're going to start to see a few more hit or miss type showers out ahead of that next cold front coming in. Cold front will dive in from the north. You'll see it helping to continue to spark some of those showers even as we get into that 4 to 5 a.m. window on Sunday. But for the most part, a lot of this moisture escapes to the south by the time we're getting up and really getting our day started on Sunday. So I really do think most of the day on Sunday, it's going to feature sunshine, just some slightly cooler temperatures. And again, it will be a bit on the breezier side as well, just because we're working in some slightly cooler temperatures. We're going to be back into the mid 70s during the afternoon. Much colder air arrives on Monday. That's also going to spark another opportunity for rain to get the work week started. But beyond Monday, everything looks to be pretty quiet by the middle part of the work week. You'll notice Tuesday, we're back into the 70s. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are well into the 80s. And it does look like, at least as of right now, Father's Day forecast is looking to be much more on the warmer side, but likely going to be back into the upper 80s. Of course, we'll have a lot